Okay, welcome everyone to day 40 of the Story Spark session, the 6 a.m. quick session where we come together for 15-20 minutes to take on a concept, to take on one activity and really do that and get a success to start the day. So today, because we are in the week 8 of feedback and improve, I have come up with this new activity which is not entirely new, but I've suffered it. So what we are going to do is something called feedback wheel, which means that we have three different dimensions of feedback, right? So we have a story structure and content, we have delivery and presentation, and we have engagement and audience connection. So what we are going to do is first we are going to get into story writing part wherein for next 2-3 minutes you are going to write or rewrite or remember any of the story. And before you start the story, I will assign these different category of feedback to different people. If we have less people, will give more than one category to other person. So I think we have Dr. Alka also joining. Morning, Dr. Alka. Okay, so yeah, so just explaining today we are going to do something called feedback wheel, wherein we are going to write or rewrite a story. And once we have done the story writing part, before delivery, we will assign different category of feedback to different people. So once somebody finishes the story, for example, I assign story structure and content to Venkat. Venkat is going to give feedback about that, how was the structure, and Dr. Alka may give feedback about the delivery and presence, and we also have a guest, Mr. Amit. I will probably assign him engagement and connection. So we are going to go around like a wheel, and everybody will get the opportunity to practice on different aspect of providing feedback. Now, if you are not sure what are the different things, I'm also going to share the screen for the feedback checklist. So you may note the same. So the feedback checklist is this one where in the first part we have the story structure and content. So we look at the beginning, middle and end. We look at the purpose. We look at the engaging opening. We look at the conflict or challenge. We look at resolution and conclusion, and we look at use of details and description. So that is part 1. The part two is the delivery and presentation, where we look at vocal variety, body language, gestures, eye contact, pacing, confidence, and present. And the third part is the engagement and connection, where we look at the emotional connection with the audience, how relatable it is, are the audience interacting, and what was the clarity when it comes to telling the story and speech, right? So, everybody clear on the concept? So now we are going to get back to the story writing part. So I'm going to go back to previous slide, and for next 3 minutes, I want you to either write or rewrite any of your previous story. And Amit for you as well, you can take up any story. It could be a personal story or it could be any other story that you have ever heard. Take a pen and paper and or use your phone or whatever it is for next 3 minutes and write down the story, and then we'll get into actual delivery part of it, right? So let's start with music. Last 1 minute. All right. Time is up. So let's start with Venkat. Venkat, are you ready with the story?
Yes, Haritosh.
Awesome. So let me assign the feedback also to individual people. So let's start with Dr. Alka. You can talk about the story structure and content. Amit, if you're here, I would love for you to do the delivery and presentation feedback, and I will do the engagement and connection. All right. Okay. Any question, anyone, before we get started? No? All right. Let's get started. Over to you, Venkat.
Yes. For New Year, we have 1 week holiday. So last week, my friend called me and informed me that Venkat, you are in Japan. So you could. This is the first year you are staying in Japan for seeing this New Year holiday. So 31st night, you go to Janville near to our office, and there are lot of fun and um, fireworks there. So it would be great for you. And kindly note that return is you by walk only. There is no train after 12 o'clock. I said okay, I can enjoy the New Year as he suggested. 30th December, we our friend went to Tokyo for roaming. My body was pain. The reason is there was cold outside, winter, so it would be not flexible to me particularly. I was so tired. But my friend again messaged me and said, um, there is a new thing, so you probably enjoy the holiday. In my mind, I accept that we would engage new things and explore new. But I didn't ask any of other friends. They are not interested to go to see the fireworks at 12 o'clock and return by walking 1 hour travel to reach home. So I left my from my home at 11 p.m. and reach the place at 11:30 to see the fireworks. In at the time there were dark and the huge people. I can see different countries people at the one place first time, and all are enjoying and drinks and making sound, having loudspeaker. They whatever they want, they enjoy in that place. So I also waited for the time 12 o'clock. There was a countdown start. Fireworks also started. Then within 2 3 minutes after fireworks, everyone going to home. So I also just see the fireworks and return to home because there was a cold. I couldn't manage anyhow. My friend said so. That's the reason I came to that place. It's not for personal reason. It's not for enjoyment because cold stops me to see anything and enjoy. So I return by walk and reach my home at 1 p.m. Then the whole next day was spoiled. New Year and first, second, third, because I was suffering from fever, cold, and the next day I prepared food also spoiled my stomach ache also. The whole New Year and next day up to yesterday, also my body was affected because of the traveling. From this I conclude that it was acceptable to do these kind of things, nothing to regret in this. At the same time, we have to take care of our body. That's all. Thank you.
Awesome. Oh, well done, Venkat. Let everybody write SPTY story power to you. And we'll quickly go around the room to get feedback from different feedback champions. So let's start with Dr. Alka. So, Dr. Alka, how did you find the structure and structure and content of the story? You are on mute.
So, Venkat, thank you for that story. It's a story of my own life many years back. And since that time, I've never gone out of my house on New Year's Eve. And this is a wonderful message that you're giving. The structure could have been more structured because the content is really good and the message is really very nice and crisp, actually. So, we can make it into better structuring. No,
Yes.
that's all I have to say. Thank you so much. Great
Okay,
message.
thank you. Amit, do you have any feedback with respect to the delivery and presentation aspect of the story?
Yeah, thanks, Pankit, for sharing this story. I think you shared a very nice story that is most of time relative to most of people because we spoil our many days just to enjoying one night. So that happened with many people. Yeah, what could be better? So I think there is a rhythm can be added story that the rhythm is a little bit missing. However, story content was great. So, means while I'm saying rhythm, so while we are presenting the story, we have to structure it like instead of giving pause after each word, we can make a sentence and then give a pause, make a sentence that a pause. So in that way, people able to digest the content better way. That's my feedback.
Thank
Thanks.
you, Amit. Thank you so much. And for the third part, for the audience engagement part, I love the way you started because all of us can relate and all of us have been to similar situation where we have not paid attention to details and we have suffered. So it was quite relatable and it was emotional as well. We could see that you then suffered. I think, like others said, there needs to be a little bit of clarity, and because you've written it for the first time, this is like version 1 is always better than version none. So we could feel that no, it can be improved in terms of how the story is progressing. I think on a few things it took longer than required, and on few things, especially the takeaway, could have been more crystal clear, more succinct as to what exactly you want to convey, because it can be taken in multiple ways. But great job, and great job to all the champions feedback provider as well. So now let's go on. We It is 6:17, so we'll take one more story. We'll take it to Dr. Alka. So Dr. Alka, are you ready with your story?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so let me assign the feedback champions also. So this time I want Amit to look into the story structure and content. I want myself to look at delivery and presentation, and I want Venkat to look at the engagement and connection. Okay, so all the best. Over to you.
Time for making a vision for 2025. All of us are doing that. My dad had a practice to make all the four daughters sit down at the end of the year to write down the vision for the next year. This year, I met my niece yesterday and I saw her vision, what she wrote down. It was just like as if to say she wants to do these things and see the outcome after doing those things. I realized vision is not about a to-do list. It is not about writing it and putting it on the wall and then forgetting about it. It is not even a statement. Vision is something you create The word vision actually comes from the word, a Latin word which means to see. It's about seeing your future in the unknown, and putting your heart and soul into it, and preparing that vision and keeping that vision with you all throughout. In an organization, in an individual's life, it helps us to it gives us direction. When we keep the vision in our mind, it gives us prioritization, and it gives us a lot of focus. So we know what we want to do when we prepare our vision. So I want you all to make your vision, keeping these things in your mind. Put your heart, put your soul in it. Make your vision, not like a to-do list, but a vision with a lot of imagination. And that's what is going to give you direction, prioritization, and focus in your life. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Everybody write SPTY, story power to you, Dr. Alka. And let's start with Amit for the content feedback. So, Amit, what is your feedback with respect to content?
Thanks, Alka, for sharing the story. I think that's a awesome story and awesome takeaway. And also, you shared a idea like why vision is not a to-do list. So, and also you related it with your niece. She wrote her to-do list instead of vision. So, content was clear, and it makes us. The structure was also nice, like the way you started and the way you explained it, and the takeaway was means very important, and that you have given right structure for the story from beginning to end. So it was nice. Thanks.
Thank you, Amit, for the feedback. Now, coming to me for the delivery and presentation, I think you have certainly improved over time. I can clearly see you made a lot of gestures when you were talking about the writing or why vision, what is important. So, there were a lot of hand painting, if I may say, using your hand as gestures. So, great job. I'm gonna say that, yeah, I'm gonna be the devil's advocate. Do you think it is a story?
So I try to add the part of the story with my dad telling us to write the vision. He always made us
Yeah,
write
yeah,
the vision.
yeah.
I try
I
to.
think there were a few elements missing. You can also feel that. So no, maybe what you can do is add little bit of context and little bit of you had. So if I we talk about five C's, you had carry out message for sure, and to me it felt like it is going little bit towards preaching part of it versus just the story. The last carry out message could have been very simple. That don't just create another to do list, create a vision, think about a vision, think of the dimensions of the life, and create a vision or vision board. But story could have been what was the context, what was the conflict, cure, and change we talk about, right? So, what was the conflict didn't come out properly because you saw the girl and she made something. It has to be something little bit where we are more interested to know, and then also the change part of it. Okay, let's go to Venkat for the connection and engagement part.
Yes, there was emotional connection, relatability, and audience interaction, and clarity of speech also good. Only one thing I was looking is conflict. I in the context I was looking the conflict. That only I felt missing. Apart from the clarity of speech, engagement, everything is good.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Venkat, for the feedback. And now it's time for the last reflection. So, today we again tried something new in this Story Spark session of breaking the feedback into different sections and assigning it. So, let's hear it from Venkat. How was what was your learning and reflection from this activity?
Yes, this kind of feedback is important for improvement because we generally see eye contact. We provide feedback for eye contact and just story context. That's only. But today's session shows that there are different part of feedback, and it would be we would provide and improve our responsibility to others to improve through our feedback.
Yes, absolutely. Giving feedback is also an art, and that is what I want to develop in every member of Confidence Storytelling Hub. Awesome. Thank you. Let's go to Dr. Alka.
For me, it was a very important exercise for myself to improve actually. When I'm looking objectively at somebody else and at myself also, the self evaluation becomes very clear, and helps me to improve myself. was my learning today.
Absolutely,
When you're
absolutely.
given three parts separately, na, it becomes easier for us to see objectively those three parts. Otherwise, we are jumbling up everything. And like
Correct.
when you said about the structure part, the conflict was missing because this was not a story. This was a message I wanted to give, but I made it into a story. But I think if we make this message into a story, it will be more connecting with the people. Rather than,
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely,
if you just say
definitely.
that, "ये
And
करना चाहिए."
I'm very sure if you spend some time, you'll also find some conflict in that. You know why my vision board was not connecting to me, what was the piece missing, and then you see the nation like what have you done, and then you look at that. You know, instead of just having to-do lists, she's now having different pictures or images of the things that she wants to achieve, and that is where you see the cure and change. Okay. So Amit is joining us as a guest for a couple of days. So Amit wanted to know your feedback as well of this quick fast track session.
Yeah. My takeaway is that, while we are saying the story, so there are certain item that should be there, so that you explain the last part, it is not, if we are sharing a interesting story, but if every part is not there, then that's not a story.
Correct.
So that is a context, conflict, and connection. So these are the things that I liked a lot.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and I'm glad we could join. We went little extra today. It is 6:25, but have a great day, everyone, and we'll meet again tomorrow. And as I say, until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep going out of your comfort zone. We'll see you tomorrow again at 6 a.m. So be there, and recording of this will be available in next half an hour or so. So have a great day, everyone. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Ritesh.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Amit.